To think that on this night, exactly a year ago, you were here with Oliver Mtukudzi in the studio and we were paying tribute to Hugh Masekela.
Hello, Vuyo, and hello to the ENCA viewers. It's just so sad to know that on this very same day when we are commemorating 1 year since Uncle Hugh passed on, we were in your studio with you, with Oliver Mtukudzi, with Hot Sticks and Sonti Ndebele. And a year later, on the very same day, we're saying goodbye to Oliver Mtukudzi. Life is something else.
And you were with him only a couple of weeks ago, I understand.
Well, a couple of months ago, we went to Zimbabwe with Mikasa. Walter, who is Oliver's nephew, did this show called Jacaranda Show. It's Oliver's show. It was his very first big show that he was doing, and he was planning to do it again in 2019, but this time in Bulawayo. It was called the Jacaranda Show. And he kept on calling to say, Sisi, come, let's do this show. And I said, Zimbabwe, with all the trials and tribulations, do you think people want to have a show? And he said, people in Zimbabwe love fun, they love music, come, let's do this show. And Mikasa, Berita, and myself and Oliver did this big show. It was just amazing. The Zimbabwean people came and supported us, and in return we supported them as well. And we did this big show, which we intended doing this one again, but this time going to give back to the Zimbabweans in 2019. And unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Your fondest memories of his life with him, I mean, the times you were performing together or sitting together discussing a project and so on?
There's just so many things I've learned from Oliver. He used to call me my sister, and I called him my brother. The man was just one of those greatest stars, but so humble. Oliver was different on stage. When he took his guitar, he was something else. He had people eating out of his hand. And when he was off stage, you could actually ask him to say, hey, because he was just so humble, and yet he was such a big star. He had no airs. He had no chip on his shoulder. He was always having his feet firm on the ground. And I'm just so, happy to have learned a lot from him. I was very happy to have been in Zimbabwe when he was also made a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. Thank you to those UNICEF people, Michaela and, Judy Machila and all those people who, made him a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. We've traveled to Ethiopia with him. We've traveled to Zambia with him as a Goodwill Ambassador. And he would ask me, so Sisi, you've done this before. What is expected of me being a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, and all those things? What am I supposed to do and say to these people? And he was just a humble man, but a great musician. And he was loved by the whole world. And I'm sure the whole world will miss Oliver, but they loved him, and he loved them back.
Of course, I mean, you and I are talking, and he died while his country remains in trouble. The trials and tribulations you were talking about, from the conversations you would have with him, how did he feel about the fact that he couldn't really spend as much time in his own country as he would have wanted?
Oliver, through his music, he wanted to change people's lives. He was a politician in a way as well, because it was through his music, and he loved his country. He may have traveled all over the world, but he remained a pure and a Zimbabwean. He never wanted to be anything else. He stayed everywhere. He had different homes, but he wanted to be Zimbabweans, and he would always complain about politicians who never listened to the people. And as I said, he was always humbled. He was your everyday man. And he would always say, I never would ever want to be a politician, my sister. I'm a politician when I take my guitar and give the people what they want. This is what he would always say.
May his soul rest in peace.